Hi there, this is Carrie Moore. I'm CEO and founder of our flagship program, The Art of Building Leadership Capital. We are excited to be here today with Kim Martin, who is a long-standing client of ours that we are proud to claim her on our Impact Dashboard. Kim Martin, welcome to the house. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carrie. I'm excited to be here and looking forward to sharing with you.
Absolutely. Excellent. So let's dive in. So you have had a fantastic couple of years, banner years. Let's
Yep.
just level set. What industry, role, where do you live? Just a real quick kind of dot point summary about you so our clients can hear that.
Awesome. So I'm in the financial services industry, specifically in a subsection that's payments focused. And over the past 3 years, I have moved from an individual contributor role to a series of leadership roles. I am currently in New York City, and as others will probably recognize, New York City financial services, banking, and payments is one of the places to be. Yes.
You are at the epicenter of where it all happens. Right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So, from the standpoint of just overall qualitative outcome, we've worked with you in a couple of phases of your career, and now you're in one of our more evergreen communities. But just give us an idea in terms of when you think about where you are today versus where you were a couple of years ago, what are two or three dot points, characteristics that really stand out about you today that you couldn't have claimed a couple of years ago?
Gotcha. Well, definitely the top two are leading a multi-layered team. I've got anywhere between 5 to 7 teammates that I am formally leading and directly reporting to me. In addition to owning part of the P&L that's in the multi-millions, whereas before it was just a goal. Now I actually own that, and it's part of my leadership accountability.
Yeah, amazing. And you hold a consulting practice, just to clarify as well.
A team within a North America consulting practice. Yep.
Amazing, amazing. So we take a lot of pride in the tools that we create. We
Mhm.
typically we like the rule of three. And so we like to take you through three key phases in terms of development and growth. As you think about on the tactical side or the strategic side, where you saw some initially really big wins, what are some program tools that come to mind that were game changers for you?
I think most of it was in the mindset creation, where it was the mindset meditation, the advice and recommendations on biohacking, and also now I'm starting to get into the future identity journaling. I think all of those, the three tools that you've been giving me is instrumental in helping me just transform the way that I think about my future.
Amazing. And so, our big theme, which is about creating economic freedom. And so,
Mhm.
economic freedom, first for our clients individually. We've been very passionate about topics like equal pay, really building the skill of what it means to own your value and worth. And sure, it's qualitative, but we really like to get in the weeds on the quantitative. So, can you share what those quantitative tools around claiming economic value have meant for you personally and professionally?
Yes. So the impact dashboard that we have been working on together has quantified and solidified the business moving impact that my leadership has made on a North America team, on the clients that I've worked with. Those KPIs are undebatable. Those are real numbers where real money, real revenue has been driven and found and created in new ways, actually resulted in highly successful ways. So that in and of itself, once I laid that out with your guidance, it was powerful. It gave me such a incredible sense of competence and confidence that I knew I could then take that into additional conversations. Whereas before, I think there was a little bit of uncertainty, but now I know I can take this into a compensation conversation. I have before, where I've been able to increase my base pay from 90%. So my base pay went in one role from one to another 90% increase. My total comp went above 70% increase from one role to another. I've been able to switch roles from a product consulting role to a product innovation development role. So it's helped with both my personal compensation, but also professionally. It's helped me pivot even in the roles that I have, and also continue to land leadership roles.
Love that. Yeah. 70% on total comp, 90+% on a base pay movement. And I love it that you reference that, as you and I have talked a lot about in terms of this umbrella of economic freedom. It's about how do we flip the script on what we see painfully out there. That's the loyalty tax. And so you were under that umbrella of highly loyal, and still are highly loyal. But then you learn how to be loyal to yourself, and look what the freedom it gave you. How is that resonating today? You make those kind of moves, and I know you've continued to use those tools. So today, what's the loyalty tax now mean to you in terms of economic freedom?
Like you said, loyalty first and foremost to myself, to the relationships that I've built, regardless of the company that I'm with. And that's what I've realized. I think, create a relationship with the company in a sense of loyalty with them. For me, it's a false sense. I realize now that the real loyalty is in the relationships that I built with the humans. That's the real value versus the organizations. Those folks, those individuals help me find new roles, or they help me answer questions, and that increases my value and my knowledge, which then I can then turn into actual real money as I help grow a business, and also help people on my team transform and develop in their own careers.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a wonderful point. You and I know how much I've been passionate about sponsorship. And so sponsorship different than mentorship. Mentorship is wonderful, but it often just creates affiliation. Sometimes it just creates echo chambers where we're talking about problems, but we're not solving them. Sponsorship, which I emulate and teach leaders to, is about skin in the game. It's about, you're at that decision maker table and you're creating ways for others that are on your team or in your environment, or for me, my clients, how do we get them to the next level? What are examples of sponsorship for you, Kim, in terms of your impact dashboard and what you've created?
Yeah. So in the past 2 years, I've sponsored 4 promotions on my team. One was to a senior role, or so one was to a formal leadership role where this individual is now managing their own team. And the other 3 have been from entry-level junior roles to senior roles, or more mid-level roles.
Fantastic. That means a lot in terms of building brand equity. It's fantastic. And we love that in terms of what you represent in terms of our street cred. You're a part of that, that we're very proud of. And so we talk sometimes about the reframing. And so when you hold the frame, you win the game. And we teach how to hold that frame. And that's where we talk about shifting the identity, creating the narrative. We work with our clients to create the powerful, authentic narrative, combine that with that balance sheet of undeniable, unrefutable, non-negotiable in terms of what you've created an impact. And then you take that to market. But we go through challenging times. And so we teach tools that recalibrate and take you back. And so can you talk a little bit about 1 or 2 tools, maybe just one, that's been impactful for you, and how you recalibrate under any circumstance and get you back to that baseline of Kim Martin?
Oh, absolutely. Well, the financial dashboard or the the financial dashboard or the financial impact balance sheet of Kim has been the most instrumental in helping me articulate the value of the impact that I've made in quantitative measures that can also translate into KPIs for an organization. I think that those numbers don't lie. And that's true for me as an individual, and that's true for an organization as well. So they're non debatable, they're non negotiable, and it's beyond confidence. I know these numbers exist. I know that I led them. I know that I helped create them. And yeah, when I have those conversations, it is the truth.
More, a little bit more about on the softer side, like, trains, planes, and automobiles. I used to talk to you about that a lot when I was in my former career path. And so trains, planes, and automobiles, managing the moments, managing them on the road, managing them back in the New York office. What is one tool that like really gets you back to that inner model and that inner frame that we talk about when we talk about it's just beyond mindset. It's really more where we talk about heart set and soul set and why that really matters in terms of how we calibrate ourselves as our own instrument.
Yes, I would definitely say all the different meditations that we have talked about and that you've shared with me, that the mindfulness techniques, not just the breath work, but just the mindfulness techniques, being able to recognize in the moment when my nervous system is being stressed, how to get myself back into the parasympathetic nervous system, state, being able to think clearly so that way I can actually listen, receive information, and actually make smarter decisions.
Yeah, how can we how can we be present in the moment and staying
Yeah.
curious? Ah,
Yeah. Staying curious, staying empathetic and compassionate, especially as leaders, because the microscope and the light is on us a lot more than I think we anticipate.
yeah, the stakes are higher as we move up the ladder, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, as it should be.
Yeah, excellent. And so let's talk about in terms of the unique ways that we hold space. You were there in the early journey initially when we were doing more sprint programs, and they were, 2 to 3 months of being in a small group. And now you're in the room where you're in an evergreen concept in terms of you still have the one-on-ones, but you step into a room that is a peer level. And so can you talk a little bit about what the benefits are of those sessions with a peer group?
Yeah, I love those peer groups. It has been exponentially more valuable and beneficial than I anticipated. I would say the first one has been at the professional level. It's given me ideas, understanding, and knowledge around KPIs, different measures of success, leadership tactics, leadership approaches. It enables me to be able to use those proven methods into my current role. And then, secondarily, I think even more importantly, it has given me a place where I can have a conversation without fear. It's given me a safe container. It's enabled me to truly feel a sense of belonging and a sense of community and a very quick, strong sense of trust with individuals that I'm still getting to know. But it's established because I think we all understand that we're sharing a lot of the same values, and there's just this natural sense of understanding with each other.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what 1 hour can do when you're in a trusted space and people are there with an open mindset to create understanding as well as really lead and guide and learn from each other. I think
And,
that's, yeah.
and we also are very compassionate, right? We talk about different aspects of our own personal lives, and we spend moments in actual meaningful moments to acknowledge, to absorb, and to recognize each other.
Absolutely.
And it's natural.
Yes, it is natural. I think that's one thing that I love is because we are very intentional about how we create the space and make sure that it is peer group level. We're not creating pea soup, even though we believe diversity. Absolutely, it's diversity of thought in the room, 100%. But I love the engagement. I love how we keep to the house rules. And there's just a tremendous amount of respect and rapport there. So thank you, Kim, for that. So if there's one thing that comes to mind that you think, because there's a lot of programs out there, and we're glad because there's a lot of people out there that need support. But what's the one tool that really stands out that's unique for the market and has been unique for you to apply? Can you share what you think?
Um, I would say for me right now has been the future identity journaling. I think given where we are in the journey, that has been one of the most holistic and impactful and also motivating and inspiring parts of the program.
I
Yeah.
love that. You know,
Look
we
forward to
encourage
it.
people, yeah, we encourage people to record and to, you know, voice, like really activate the voice in terms of that activation of moving from that knowing, doing, being, and then stepping into that and claiming that narrative. And you've done some unique things around that in terms of taking our suggestion tools. So would you want to highlight that?
Yeah, so I use a digital app to record my voice, have it automatically transcribed, so that way I export it. And I use that so that way I can notice my trends over time as to how I hear my own voice articulate the future identity in the present.
Yeah, it's incredible, right? When we hear our own voice moving in terms of, again, that circles of
Mhm.
confidence, and influence. So much is about how we hold our own presence and we hold our own space.
Yeah. And as I claim the impact that I know I can make, financial, relationship impact, personal impact on people's lives and careers, as I claim that in these recordings, it it translates into the conversations around how I can move businesses and help them grow.
Yeah. And so to that point, like for the people around you that love you, adore you, count you in their personal life or even the professional life, what do you believe they're seeing or experiencing that's different about you that wasn't as present maybe a year or two, whatever time frame ago, doesn't matter.
Oh, I know they've told me inspiration and
Mm,
grace.
mm. Love
I
that.
have shown a lot of grace and I have been very, very inspiring.
Love that, Kim. So just kind of in closing here, like as we're thinking about sharing this with our community and then sharing it with people that are considering any one of the learning journeys that they can go on in terms of building their leadership capital and scaling that competence, confidence, and influence, what would be any kind of final thoughts that you'd want to share with someone?
Ah, you are your own most valuable asset.
Yes.
The way that you treat yourself, the way that you invest in yourself, and the way that you take care of yourself is the most important because the better we do that, the better we can give. A lot of us love to contribute and add value and make a mark on this world and leave a legacy in different ways. The better we can do that for ourselves and do that first, the better we can have the relationships with our loved ones, our friends, our coworkers, our neighbors. It just ripples out into just these amazing, beneficial, surprisingly delightful ways.
Mm. So true. It's so true. Really makes the world a better place, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's why we like to share inner model, outer effect. Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you change the inside, it will show up on the outside.
Yeah. You can't not. When you change the inside, it just overflows. You can't
Yes.
hide that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you're a wonderful example of that, Kim. So thank you so much for giving us time. Thank you for sharing your experience. We love this. We'll share this in our community, and
Awesome.
truly just wishing you all the best. And again, you're on our impact dashboard. We claim you as one of our people, and we are so proud of you, Kim. Truly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm incredibly grateful and continue to be. And I just so just grateful. So thank you.
Thank you, Kim.